Hi, I'm Jesse Leahy with EngagingLeader.com. There's an ancient secret that most communicators and public speakers have learned, but many leaders don't know it. It's called the 3 modes of persuasion, but I like to think of it as the 3 modes of influence. This model was taught by Aristotle in 4 BC, but it's a timeless truth that is still taught today. In fact, in just the last few months, I've seen the model discussed in 2 recently published books. If you can learn and use Logos, Ethos, and Pathos, you will understand a key secret to engaging leadership. Let's imagine this drawing is an employee who you want to lead, or perhaps a senior executive or other person you want to influence. Now, if you're like me, your natural inclination is to focus on what you want to say and have people hear. You clearly present the logical rationale for your position. You provide facts and organize everything with clarity and consistency into logical reasoning that brings people to your conclusion. Logos is your logical argument or your content. Logos is important, but many leaders assume incorrectly it can be the entire basis for their leadership. Ethos is how you are perceived, your credibility and character. If logos is what they hear, ethos is who they see. It's your identity, how you come across. Do people respect you, trust you, view you as an authority on this topic? It's the who or the credibility. Now, I knew a guy who worked for years at the same company, and eventually Dave became CEO, and everyone who knew him trusted him. As far back as they could remember, he showed consistency between what he said and what he did. And he was a relatable guy who people could identify with regardless of whether they were a factory worker or the vice president of Fancy Pants. He had ethos or credibility, and I also talk about credibility on video 2, how to engage employees, customers, and followers. Pathos is an emotional connection that people feel with you. It's a heart thing. Now, I know. A lot of us don't like to get into the squishiness of emotions and feelings. But that doesn't mean you have to cry in front of people. You can share a memorable story that makes people care. You can use humor to help them feel enthusiastic. As a friend recently reminded me, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Pathos is the emotion or connection, and connection is another of the 6 C's of engagement that I talk about in video 2. The CEO that I mentioned earlier made powerful emotional connections with people. He was an authentic person who could honestly express his feelings. And he told stories that made people laugh, and sometimes he told stories that brought tears to his eyes and to almost everyone else's. I say almost everyone because there were some people who, well, let's just say they were more comfortable with numbers than they were with feelings. They were bothered to see their CEO cry. For them, it took away from his ethos. I think that just shows the importance of making the pathos you share appropriate for each audience and message, and balancing all 3 modes. Your ability to express and balance the 3 modes of influence, logos, ethos, and pathos, is key to being an engaging leader. Find out more at EngagingLeader.com.